Handling workplace conflicts. Today we'll be discussing on tips and tricks on how best to deal with conflicts in your workplace. Now, having a conflict in your workplace can be very detrimental to your personal life and especially, of course, your work life. Considering that most of us do work 40 hours a week, 5 days a week, about that in a single workplace, if you do have a conflict in your environment, you're probably having to deal with it a lot, and it can really affect yourself, the people involved, and anyone else that's around you. Now, we're going to begin by discussing types of conflict. There's task conflict, relationship conflict, and value conflict. Task conflict involves concrete issues related to employees in their work assignments. So, an example of this could be a dispute with you and another employee on how to divide up a workload. Now, relationship conflict relates to clashes caused by different personality styles, like taste or conflict style. Now, this could be where you just simply don't get along with a person and you might not be around them if it wasn't for your job. Now, this is bound to happen in workplaces because there's such a variety of people that you can be put in close proximity to. Now, the next one is value conflict. Value conflict comes from fundamental differences in identities and values. This can be anything from differences in ethics, politics, norms, and more. This one can be especially tough considering it's very hard for people to give up what they feel are their values. Now we'll go on to some tricks on how to deal with conflict. Seek guidance within your workplace. Now, a lot of large workplaces have specific people to help you with these conflicts that are human resources. It can be your human resources representative, an associate there. You can always go to them if you do feel that that would be beneficial to your workplace conflict. Now, don't do it in a way where it's like you're telling on the other person or in an accusatory way towards the other person. You want an HR representative there to help both of you get through the conflict together, where you guys can leave out the other end with a resolved issue and able to work together amicably in the workplace. Another method is to use non-accusing language. Now, this will definitely help not start or inflame more conflicts. You want to be sure not to insult the other person. Don't say anything rudely. Just try to keep your calm and don't say anything that would make the other person unhappy. Another big thing is to listen. I know that's very basic, but listening is something that we easily forget to do, especially when we're in an inflamed situation and we're unhappy about it. Another thing is to stay appropriate. And this, of course, applies to every day, anytime in the workplace. You always want to stay appropriate. Now, when you are angry in a situation, angry with another coworker, it can be very easy for it to get heated and inflamed. So you want to try your best to never take it too far, because that can lead to even bigger issues that would be bigger than this conflict. Another idea is to walk in the other person's shoes. A lot of basis for conflict can come from things that we're all dealing with, and everyone is dealing with something of their own. So try your best, if you can, just to take a step back sometimes and walk in the other person's shoes. Set ground rules is another good idea. If you guys have a hard time having a conversation around each other or with each other, it might be a good idea to set a few ground rules, such as try not to make any inflammatory comments, anything that would goad on the other person. You just want to keep it as calm as possible and set rules if that's necessary. Another thing is constructive communication. This can be difficult, especially with people who already don't get along, but you want to say things in a way that aren't insulting, of course. And if you do have maybe a comment or an issue with another person, say it in a polite and respectable way. That way, the other person might actually take a second to listen to you rather than get angry over them thinking you're insulting them. Now, these are just a few ways that you can resolve conflicts in the workplace, and they can be very important for you. As I said before, it's very detrimental to your work environment and the environment of those around you. So you always want to try your best to get over these conflicts and to work through them so that you and the other person can maintain a healthy relationship in your workplace, because the chances are you're going to have to work together regardless, unless one of you leaves. And we don't want that. So, thank you for listening. Have a good day.